Hey guys, I want you to take a little moment and watch Raila Odinga, the former Prime Minister. He has finally come to the field and is talking about why they are trying to come together with William Samoei Ruto, because he says that this country is at a critical situation. So we need to quickly try to find a way to fix the problems which are happening, and therefore he is still in for the dialogue. So I want you to take a keen watch this video to the end and comment. Thank you.
About problems which are facing our country today. Kenya is at a critical juncture. We either move forward or we perish. Because we don't want to perish, we need that conversation. And that is what I had proposed, that we must have this conversation that take cognizance of the demographic profile of our nation. And that there are several issues that need to be discussed at that convention. But I've also said that there matters precedence, issues that must be dealt with first before that convention can be had. This includes, number one, compensation for the families of the victims of violence last year and this year. Two, paying of all the hospital medical bills of the victims of police violence of last year. Number three is a release of all people who have been arrested and are in police custody. Number four is the dropping of all the pending charges which are pending in courts. Number five is the sacking and prosecution of all police officers who have been involved in criminal violence against innocent Kenyans who are actually exercising their rights as enshrined in the Constitution. And then we said that once that has been done, then people will sit down and dialogue. And we've also actually come up with what that dialogue should be about. The issues that have been raised by Gen Zs are not new issues. There are similar issues which we raised last time, even last year on the streets. We talked about unemployment in our country. We talked about high cost of living in our country. We talked about corruption, rampant corruption in the country. We talked about tribalism and ethnicity, discrimination in our country. And then we talked about management of debt in the country. These are critical issues that need to be discussed. But thirdly is the issue of governance. We have a new constitution, but we are not actually following that constitution. There are issues which were pending. Kenyans met at Bomas of Kenya and deliberated for a very, very long time and came up with a very, very progressive constitution. That constitution was bastardized to a certain extent during the so-called Naivasha process. We must go back to the Bomas draft constitution, put it back on the table, and see what needs to be cleaned up so that we can have a progressive constitution. So you said, therefore, that it's on the basis of that kind of elaborate process that we can then talk about a government of national unity. But then you say that if you want to take some of our experts and get into your government, we release them to join your government and work in accordance with the ethics of our party, ODM and Azimio. This is what we said. We have not changed. This position has not changed. We said we want to see a new Kenya, and the people of Kenya are entitled to it. And that's why we said we agree with Gen Z in their demands. Gen Z demands are the demands of the people of Kenya.
Honestly speaking, there's something I'm failing totally from understanding for what the leaders are talking about. When they talk about, yeah, we need to sit down and talk. Yeah, there's a changes which need to be done in the government so that we can avoid misuse of government resources, and not government, actually the nation resources. the taxpayers' resources, as well as trying to understand how we can create local jobs for the people of this nation. And we have raised a lot of issues: stealing Kenyan assets, selling Kenyan assets, leaders involved in corruption. We have illegal offices. We have what IMF dates that we have, and no strategic plans put across to see that we're going to settle that problem, and then we are back into building a nation. My concern is simple. Why are they not talking about tomorrow, next week, this date we are going to sit down and discuss these issues to completion? That is what I'm waiting to hear from the leaders. Talk next week. We are calling upon this, so and so and so, to come, sit down and talk. And what we need to address is this, and this is the shape of the solution that we want to see at the end of it. This is the picture that we want to see as the end result. You see, as we speak right now, Ruto is in the field doing the campaign for 2027, trying to gain the trust of the Kenyans by giving them promises. So, and again today, Raila Odinga and his team, they are also away talking. You see, this talking to the people doesn't help. What we need is people, there's action taken, there's a solution found for this car or for this vehicle to move forward, this vehicle called Kenya, to start moving forward. We need to repair or make a new. It's either you repair these wheels or you completely buy new ones. That is what we need. But we talk a lot. You see, we are wasting Kenyans' time. People need to go and cultivate. People need to go and do business. You know, this kind of, you know, this kind of talking, it has been there. How do you think this time around it's going to bring change? How do you think this talk, how is it going to bring change to the people of Kenya? And which kind of Kenya do we want? Because I can feel that every of these leaders have their own picture of how they want to see Kenya. Okay, let's say when no corruption, when no misuse of resources, what do we want? When everything is okay, now what shape of Kenya do we want? Yeah, if we have no picture that represents the result that we want, there's a long way to go. Because what are we chasing? How will we have hope that we were here, now we are here, and therefore probably next year this is where we're going to get? So I think we need to start juggling in our mind. We need to start figuring out things and figuring out and having a good translation of what these leaders are talking about. Because at the end of the day, it is your mind that is going to be hypnotized, that is going to be put to sleep. So if we, the people, don't know the shape, if we don't know the kind of Kenya that we want, we will never achieve it.
Tumekutana hapa leo viongozi ambao wamechaguliwa kutoka mirengo mbalimbali, lakini leo tumekutana kama viongozi wa jamii kutoka mkoa wa Magharibi kujadili masuala ambayo yanahusu jamii yetu na masuala mengine ambayo ni ipuka ambayo yamekuwa yanatendeka katika taifa la Kenya, kutathmini kamilifu nafasi yetu katika hii serikali na katika taifa la Kenya iko ipi. Na pia tumeona sisi kama viongozi wa sasa kwamba kuna pengo la uongozi katika upande ule wa Magharibi. Kuna wale viongozi ambao wamekuwa kule mbele, lakini tunaona kwamba masuala ya jamii hayaangalii kikamilifu. Na ndiposa tumejitokeza sisi kama viongozi ambao tuko sasa, tuanze ule mjadala, alafu tukitoka hapa kuna mipango mingine ambayo tumepanga ili mjadala uendelee na watu pia waendelee kuhisi kwamba wao katika taifa la Kenya na pia katika nafasi katika serikali. Yeah.
Kwa hivyo hii ni chama mpya mnaunda ama
hatuwezi kuwa tunaunda chama kipya, ni mchakato. Na unajua kama viongozi mnakutana kupata lunch tu, wakati mwingine kuna mama ambaye inaleta pamoja, sio lazima iwe tu kwamba ni kuunda chama. Kama ni vyama viko vingi sana kwa sasa. Swala ambalo ni la muhimu sana na la urgent sana sio mambo ya vyama, bali ni hatima yetu sisi kama jamii.
Kama ndio unawachochea, unasema tawe kila kitu.
Tawe sio ya magharibi peke yake. Tawe ni ile mambo tu ambayo ina challenge status quo. Bila mambo yapo tunakubaliana, bila yapo ambapo tunaona kwamba inaweza kufanyika katika njia nyingine. Lakini leo haikuwa mambo ya tawe. Leo ilikuwa ni viongozi ambao tuko sasa kukaa chini na kujadili. Hatujaje tukaongea kama viongozi kutoka sehemu ya magharibi. Wengine kama Sifuna wamechaguliwa hapa Nairobi, lakini pia ni wapande ile nyingine. So tukasema tukae chini na tuongee.
Hatujaangalia chama, tumesema tukutane kama viongozi, the new generation leaders, tufanye analysis na pia postmortem, kwa sababu kuna emerging political alignments, na tukasema tuone ile interest ya jamii yetu iko wapi. Sababu tumefanya hivyo ni kwa sababu wale viongozi ambao wamekuwa tunaona hawajatuelekeza vizuri. Hiyo ndio ukweli wa maneno, na tukasema kwamba tukuje sisi kama viongozi wa the new generation tuanze kusemezana, na tumekubaliana kwa kauli moja kwamba hatuwezi jiongelea vile sisi tunataka. Ile shida ambayo tumekuwa nayo ni kwamba wale viongozi ambao wamekuwa hapa juu wamekuwa kiongea mambo yao kibinafsi, alafu wanasema wana represent community. Sisi tumesema kabla tu decide kitu chochote leo, lazima turudi kwa watu wetu, tusikie wananchi na watu wa mkoa wa Magharibi wanataka nini. So tumekubaliana kwamba tunaenda kuwa na mkutano wa viongozi, grassroots leaders wa mkoa wa Magharibi yote, county zetu 5 zote, on Monday kule Kakamega, na tunaenda kuleta viongozi wote wakuje tusemezane, tuwaambiane what is our way forward as a community. Na tungependa tutembee aje, tungependa tuongee na nani, we want now to chart our way forward as the new generation leaders from the Western region.
And as I said, as they have said, we have very many challenges in this country. And one of the things that I hold very clearly in my head is that as leaders, you cannot just sit and do nothing. When there are challenges that are facing the people, I think it is incumbent upon us to come together, to reason together and try to see how we can be able to provide solutions to some of the problems we have. As you know, even the governor and these members will tell you, Western has also seen a lot of the Gen Z protests, and they are raising critical issues that need to be addressed. And it is our hope and desire that out of this consultation and the meeting that has been proposed in Kakamega, we can all agree on what it is that we need to do as leaders living in this time right now when the leadership is upon us, to be able to provide some solutions to the people of Kenya. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question, SSG. You said the people who are in government right now from the Western region have failed you.
I think there is a common indictment on everybody in leadership right now. I don't think it is just the people from Western. I think there is an acknowledgement across the board that we wouldn't have gotten where we are if there was leadership in the country. And that realization is what brings all these people together, amongst us here, and many more who will join. I believe we can put our heads together. Honorable Mugabe, Honorable Nabi, all these people have Milanya. They have people who are, have the capacity to be able to proffer some solutions to some of the issues. So we are not interested in attacking anyone. Or we just want to consult amongst ourselves and see if it is possible for us to proffer some solutions to the problems facing the country.
Okay, before I give it to the rest,
All policy local. We are starting from the local, coming to the nation. But watch this space.
Thank you.
Yes.
Watch. I'm going to the airport.
Chuma kimekuwa baridi sasa.
Citizen 3, weka 3. Tuko tunaomba channel. Tuko Serena.
We are ready when you are ready. I think the rest will share clips. So I want to introduce the members of this delegation. My name is Caleb Amisi, a member of parliament representing Saboti constituency on ODM party and deputy organizing secretary of ODM party. Here we have member for Lugari, Honorable Nabin Nabwera, and the county secretary of ODM, Kakamega County. And we have a professor here, Wilberforce Oundo, representing Busia from the Funyula constituency. We have Mugabe from Likuyani constituency. They will have a moment to speak, but I want first of all to read the statement for this presser, and we'll open up for questions. So we have met here this morning as elected MPs among the ones who have before us. In addition, we have Honorable Kibangendi, who is supposed to be here, Honorable Sothi, who is supposed to be here, Honorable Edwin Sifuna is supposed to be here, and they are a part of this statement they have all signed. And we have met here as elected MPs and members in good standing of the Orange Democratic Movement party to set the record straight with regard to recent happenings within the party. We wish to make clear that many of us, if not all of us here, were present during both the ODM and the Azimio parliamentary group held on the 12th of July at the Jaramogi Foundation in Nairobi. At no time during the said meetings was it resolved that either the party or the coalition will be joining a coalition with William Ruto's KK party. It therefore came as a shock when senior members of ODM showed up on a list of cabinet appointees announced by Ruto yesterday. That some of our leaders have chosen to join a government indicted by the Kenyan people reflects badly on a party that has always advocated for and stood with the people. We have all along maintained support for the ongoing struggle to address the long-standing governance issues bedeviled in Kenya, and are appalled that we are now seen to be joining forces with the people responsible for these issues. To make it worse, the appointment do not reflect the diversity of the party we love, as there clearly was no regard to gender, age, or regional considerations. We wish to reiterate that the position of the party, as communicated by our Secretary General, who is Edwin Sifuna, earlier this week, that indeed the decision by our four comrades were personal and not as a result of any decision passed by the party. We call on the party leadership to move with speed and replace them. That is the end of the statement. I want to finish by saying that ODM party is like an army. 4 of our generals and the brigadiers have deserted duty and are gone to sleep with our enemy. It has no direction from the commander-in-chief, who is the Raila Odinga. The party leader was abroad on a private visit, only to come back and find 4 generals and a brigadier have deserted duty and joined the opposite camp. So we are saying this is not the position of the party. Such monumental decision affecting the history, the principles, the ideologies of the party must have been passed by the parliamentary group meeting.
Wacha niwaambie Waluya, hapa msichezwe, hapa msidanganywe, hapa hakuna Kiswahili. Luya community, this is my message to you, unite. Raila na wachezea. He has been promising, he has been talking, and finally anaingia ndani ya serikali. Akipewa Kenya nataka atanyamaza. Western leaders, wake up. Western leaders, unajua nashindwa sengine kuwachanua kwa sababu ukiangalia mwenye anaongea sasa ni Mgikuyu, Mkamba kidogo, Mjaluo na Mkalenjin. Hao waine ndo wanaongea. Sasa Mkisii hakuna, Muluya mnaongea tu lakini power huko hakuna. Unaona kuna power. Chana na hii mdomo tu we are speaking a lot of English in the media and what. No, stop those English. If you want to really make things work, stop English. Start talking facts, and these facts is to unite leaders from Western, mtengeneze timu moja kubwa iko strong, because hao watu wataendelea kuwachezea tu, they are players, wanakuja wanaongea si donge, si ndio? Alafu yeye anasema kiongozi listen, hata nyinyi mchezee. Hata nyinyi sasa imefika wakati yenye mnafanya aje, mchezee kidogo, unganeni, tengeneza kitu mpya, ingiza kwa market by 2027. Ama mtaka kuendorse tena Raila Kalonzo Musyoka, ama mtaka kuendorse tena Raila Molo Sifuna amuka. Kutoka Kisii ni mdomo tu. Osoro unite watu wa Kisii, wacha mdomo. Yani huko tena Turukana mnasikia mtu anaongea kweli. Mara Kweti huyo ni Kalenjin. Ni wapi tena? Hata sijui kabila gani. Mombasa kidogo. Mombasa pia Joe ndiye alikuwa na wika lakini hakuna. So sasa hii tunategemea nyinyi. Unaona? Unganeni, ongea sense. Huyu msasi wachezee, asiwaweke kwa sleep, amuka. We need leaders. We don't need eloquence. We need leaders. So 2027 anza safari yenu sahi. Msingoje 2027 mtakuwa overthrown. You play with Ruto. Ruto is a Ruto. Oh guys, anza leo campaign. Si kumwattack, anza campaign, enda grao. Anza kukula chini kwa chini. Benjamin pia anafika 2027 mshafika huko. But if you kizungu, you will not get there. Trust me.